Would you let someone scan your eye in exchange for crypto? Well, let me guess, it depends on which crypto and how much, right? Well, in this case, the crypto you would get in exchange for scanning your eye would be Worldcoin. Now, Worldcoin is a crypto project that's aiming to pilot universal basic income using a device called the Orb. And it's safe to say this peculiar rollout plan caught my eye. So today, I'm going to tell you what Worldcoin is all about and whether it's worth your eye. Before I bring out the Orb, there are two disclaimers you need to absorb. First, the Worldcoin I'll be talking about today isn't available yet and won't be for a while, so don't YOLO into the wrong crypto with your cash pile. Second, nothing in this video is financial advice. It's only an educational lesson, so if that's what you're looking for, contact someone who works in the financial profession. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Guy and crypto rules my mind. My obsession compels me to make the highest quality crypto content you'll ever see. Coins, tokens, news, reviews, exchanges, tutorials, and technical analysis too. All the tools you need to make it to the moon. If this sounds too good to be true, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and let me show you. If your hourglass is running low, feel free to skip around using the timestamps below. Just know that watching until the end is the best way to support the Coin Bureau. This disclaimer is starting to get a bit annoying, so let's get started with Worldcoin. Worldcoin was founded by Sam Altman, Alex Blania, and Max Novenstern. Now, Sam's involvement in the project is one of the primary reasons why it has received so much media attention. This is because Sam is famous for being the former president of Y Combinator, a startup accelerator which is responsible for launching more than 3,000 companies, including Twitch, Reddit, and Airbnb. Y Combinator also incubated crypto companies like Coinbase and crypto projects like Filecoin and OpenSea, many of whom received funding during Sam's tenure. Sam even co-founded OpenAI with Tesla CEO Elon Musk in 2015 and subsequently left his post as president of Y Combinator in 2019 to focus on OpenAI, where he serves as CEO. Now, as for Alex, he is a theoretical physicist who, quote, used neural networks to predict quantum systems during his master's at the esteemed Caltech Institute of Technology. Max, on the other hand, is a Harvard graduate who briefly worked for Bridgewater Associates, the famous hedge fund headed by Ray Dalio. Now, according to Bloomberg, Sam came up with the idea for Worldcoin in late 2019 and tapped Alex and Max to make his vision come true. In short, Sam sees Worldcoin as an opportunity to create a prototype for universal basic income, or UBI, which Sam sees as inevitable due to the rapid rise of artificial intelligence. Sam actually suggested using AI to pay for UBI in a lengthy essay earlier this year, which drew criticism from some AI experts. Now, it's not entirely clear exactly when Worldcoin was founded, as Alex and Max's profiles provide different dates. What is clear, though, is that Worldcoin is being developed by a for-profit software company registered in Delaware but based in San Francisco called the Tools for Humanity Corporation, which was founded in August 2019. The Worldcoin website specifies the non-profit Worldcoin Foundation will soon be incorporated to oversee the project, which is based in both San Francisco and Berlin, Germany. Now, Worldcoin was hoping to stay in stealth mode at the start, but this cover was blown when the project raised $25 million from some of the biggest names in crypto back in June. According to Forbes, Worldcoin's initial investors included, quote, Andreessen Horowitz, Coinbase Ventures, and angel investors including Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX, as well as the founders of Solana and Polkadot. Sam's star power, combined with Worldcoin's high-profile investors, resulted in a predictable response from both crypto and legacy media when Sam officially announced the project on Twitter last week. Now, what really got people going, though, was Worldcoin's promise of free crypto in exchange for gazing into one of Worldcoin's orbs. And this brings me on to how Worldcoin works. As I mentioned a few moments ago, Worldcoin's purpose is to be a prototype for universal basic income. UBI ultimately requires two things: a payment system and an identity system. So, starting with the payment system, Worldcoin needs to be able to scale to billions of users. To do this, Worldcoin is using optimistic rollups built on Ethereum. Worldcoin's rollup mechanism is not currently open source, though the Worldcoin website does note that the code will be open sourced soon. Now, if this rollup stuff sounds like gibberish to you, check out my video about Ethereum scaling solutions using the link up there in the top right. Anyways, another crucial part of Worldcoin's payment system is the upcoming Worldcoin Wallet app. The Worldcoin Wallet will be non-custodial and will, quote, allow users to use their Worldcoin throughout the Ethereum ecosystem. When it comes to Worldcoin's identity system, it will use the iris, i.e. the coloured part of the eye, to ensure that the same person can't claim UBI twice. According to Worldcoin, there are 3 reasons why they chose to use the iris as proof of personhood. First, no 2 irises are alike, not even for identical twins, which is what you want to create a unique identity. Second, irises are extremely hard to modify, which makes them resistant to fraud. There are, of course, coloured contacts you can wear which will change your iris, and I'll come back to those in a second. Third, scanning someone's iris is much easier to do than any alternatives, such as fingerprinting, facial recognition, and DNA sequencing. As you've probably gathered by now, Worldcoin will scan people's irises using a big, shiny camera called the Orb. These iris scanners are then connected to a user's crypto wallet address while preserving privacy. This is basically how it works. First, you show the Orb a QR code. Second, you gaze into the Orb. Third, the Orb generates a unique hash for both your QR code and your iris. Fourth, the Orb sends this hash to a sequencer node. Fifth, the sequencer node checks to see if this hash has been registered before, and if not, it is connected to a user's crypto wallet address. Because zero-knowledge proofs are used as part of this process, there is no way Worldcoin can know who each wallet address belongs to, only that it belongs to a unique individual. Moreover, no personal information is collected besides a user's iris, and this image is not stored anywhere, at least it won't be. More about that later. Now, if you're wondering why anyone would ever sign up for this, well, the answer is obviously money. Anyone who signs up for Worldcoin will be allocated a, quote, fair share of Worldcoin tokens once the mainnet goes live. To prevent anyone from claiming more than their fair share, every Orb is equipped with a machine learning algorithm that can tell when someone is using a coloured contact or trying to scan the eye of their dog, for instance, in place of their own and other such shenanigans. Orbs are also constantly monitored to ensure they're not being tampered with. This is done both manually by the Worldcoin team and automatically by comparing an Orb's performance with that of other Orbs. If any fishy activity is detected, the affected Orb automatically shuts off. There are currently 30 Worldcoin Orbs operating in 12 countries, and over 130,000 people have gazed into them ever since the field testing stage began back in May. By the end of November, Worldcoin aims to make another 4,000 Orbs and will begin manufacturing 50,000 Orbs per year. Worldcoin's Orbs are made in Germany, and co-founder Alex Blania confirmed in an interview with CoinDesk that the manufacturer is not based in China. Now, based on the average scan rate of Orbs seen so far, Worldcoin predicts that 1 billion people will have gazed into an Orb by 2023. This is all thanks to Worldcoin's network of Orb Operators, who are given Worldcoin tokens for every person they convince to gaze into their Orb. There seem to be some additional rewards as well, given that some Orb Operators are employing people to work in shifts to keep the Orb running 24/7. There are 25 Orb Operators so far, and anyone over 18 can apply to become an Orb Operator on the Worldcoin website. I will note that Worldcoin's Orbs are not currently available in select jurisdictions, including the United States and China. I will also note that becoming an Orb Operator seems to be quite competitive, as there is a bidding process involved. Quote, operators bid for the right to operate one or multiple Orbs for a defined period of time. Operators who sign up more users than others will achieve a higher monthly revenue, so they can be expected to submit higher bids, making them more likely to win the bidding process. Now this begs the question of just how many Worldcoin tokens Orb Operators will earn, and this is where Worldcoin's tokenomics come in. Although Worldcoin's tokenomics are still being hammered out, a few tokenomic factors can be found on the Worldcoin website and from a few news articles. So, for starters, Worldcoin will be an ERC20 token. Now, oddly enough, Worldcoin does not currently exist according to Etherscan, which further supports the notion that Orb Operators are being given additional rewards for operating Orbs. So, Worldcoin will have a maximum supply of 10 billion tokens. This is meant to correspond to the amount of people on the planet, because 2 billion tokens will be used to, quote, fund Orb production and initial protocol development. Now, this allocation includes the Worldcoin team and early investors, as confirmed by co-founder Alex Blania in a CoinDesk interview. The remaining 8 billion tokens will be given to Orb Operators and Worldcoin users. The amount of Worldcoin tokens that Orb Operators will earn and Worldcoin users will get on their first sign-up will decline over time. This is to incentivize the early adoption of Worldcoin. Now, obviously, we can't do any in-depth price analysis since the Worldcoin token isn't here yet, but I reckon it's reasonable to assume that it won't perform very well. This is because everyone will sell their Worldcoin as soon as they can, especially if the price is right. Now, Worldcoin is aware of this, which is why Alex told TechCrunch that, quote, they will make efforts to ensure users can't immediately liquidate the entirety of their sign-up reward as Worldcoin scales its network and utility. This suggests that there will be vesting schedules for various Worldcoin token holders, which is certainly good news. The key tokenomic factor to look for once Worldcoin goes live is a strong demand driver for the Worldcoin token, which will push up its price. Now, you can learn about the other tokenomic factors to be on the lookout for by using the link up there in the top right. In terms of when we will see Worldcoin go live, the answer seems to be early 2022. Besides that, Worldcoin doesn't have much of a roadmap. The only outstanding milestones I could find are the release of the Worldcoin wallet and the creation of software development kits to build Worldcoin-related decentralized applications. The Worldcoin team is also planning on building bridges between other Layer 2s on Ethereum, as well as other smart contract cryptocurrencies like Solana and Polkadot. Interestingly, the Worldcoin website notes that Worldcoin's upcoming milestones will be made in accordance with credible neutrality. Now, credible neutrality was detailed in a blog post by Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin back in January 2020. And it's a good read if you have the time, and it can be summarized as how a cryptocurrency blockchain can be made to be as neutral as possible. Go figure. Worldcoin's commitment to credible neutrality is certainly a good sign, given the fact that the project is hoping to onboard the world's population, which is incredibly diverse in every sense of the word. However, there's no denying that Worldcoin has some seriously dystopian undertones, and it looks like some of these are already in play today. Although the Worldcoin website does have a whole page dedicated to privacy, there is a subtle subtitle which directs to Worldcoin's current privacy policy, which can't be accessed from anywhere else on the site. This privacy policy essentially states that Worldcoin is collecting as much biometric data as it possibly can about the people who are gazing into its orbs during the field testing stage. This is because Worldcoin needs to train its orbs to accurately identify irises regardless of the person's race, age, gender, ethnicity, eye size, etc. All orb data is being sent to the Tools for Humanity Corporation, which is only mentioned on this page, by the way, and it is the party to contact if you want to delete your data. Orb data collection will continue until early 2022 when the field testing stage is complete, by which point they will have scanned at least a few million eyes. There is, of course, no shortage of concerns to be had about Worldcoin, and the one that's uppermost in my mind comes from a tweet by Worldcoin co-founder Max Novenstern. As you can see, it's an image of a text message, presumably sent to Max from someone else. The highlighted sentence reads, quote, "Kids in Kenya and Chile are the ones driving this." Now, this suggests to me that most of the people gazing into Worldcoin's orbs are children, and this raises an almost endless list of ethical concerns around consent. Now, if this is true, it's likely a byproduct of the fact that it's in the interest of Orb Operators to manufacture consent as much as they can, because they are rewarded for every eye they scan. Going into details about stuff like privacy, data use, token vesting schedules, or even the practicality of cashing out when the payday comes would negatively affect their bottom line, so why bring it up at all? It definitely doesn't help that most of Worldcoin's orbs seem to be operating in developing countries, which have been the hardest hit as a result of this pandemic. This gives even more economic incentive for orb operators to omit important information, and makes the average person in those countries that much more likely to gaze into the orb regardless of the implications. Again, Worldcoin has access to all these people's biometric information until early 2022, and though Worldcoin notes that, quote, "it will never be our business to sell your personal data," they could be pressured into providing this data to the governments of the countries in which they operate. After all, the biometric data that Worldcoin is collecting is insanely valuable, especially in countries with an absence of formal documentation or a penchant for totalitarianism. Never mind the fact that the Worldcoin quote I just told you doesn't rule out the possibility that this data could in fact be sold. It's safe to say that there are safer ways to do decentralized digital identity, and you can learn more about those by watching my video about cryptocurrency governance, and that is, of course, in the top right. Now, to wrap things up, I want to take a second to tackle the main motivation behind the Worldcoin project itself: universal basic income. UBI sounds amazing on paper, but I would argue that the pandemic has proved that it doesn't work very well in practice. While it's true that there were many people who used their stimmy money to stay financially afloat, it sounds like there were even more who spent theirs on other stuff instead. According to research by the Bank of America, a lot of that stimmy money handed out in the United States was spent on athletic footwear and apparel. This made big clothing brands billions of dollars, and I would say that's not a coincidence. There's a simple reason why so many of the world's wealthiest people are in favor of UBI. They know where that money will flow when it's redistributed. It will be spent at Walmart, it will be spent at Amazon, it will be spent at Apple, and any money that's not spent will be stored at a bank where it can be lent out and invested behind the scenes on Wall Street. And not only that, but the rich know that the money used to pay for this UBI won't come from them. It will come either from the Fed or from taxes, which they can avoid, and the middle class will subsequently foot the bill. Put simply, the practical outcome of UBI is that the average person ends up giving money to the mega corporations twice. Once through their own purchases from those corporations, and again when their tax money is given to someone else who will inevitably spend that money at the same corporate outlet. Now, to be fair though, this risk is something that Worldcoin also seems to be aware of. It's made no promises as part of its project and emphasizes that it's essentially nothing more than an experiment. Quote, "Nothing like this has ever been done before, and the outcome is uncertain. But we are obsessed with the idea that technology can let us do something collectively that even governments have not been able to: increase individual empowerment and equality of opportunity on a global scale. This is an experiment I'm 100% on board with, but it's definitely not one that's worth my eye. I suppose we'll have to wait and see what Worldcoin has in store." That's all I've got to say about Worldcoin for today. If you liked what you saw, give me a like. If you plan on coming back, be sure to subscribe and ping that notification bell to make sure you get my next video on time. If you're already up to speed here, head on over to Coin Bureau Clips for some behind the scenes and original flicks. You can even follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, or get your dose of daily crypto updates by joining my Telegram. I even have a weekly newsletter that's packed with all the info you need to supercharge your crypto portfolio. You even get to see my personal stack and how I adjust it week to week. With the crypto market close to all-time highs, you probably have some extra pie, and if you want to support the channel, you can get yourself a sweater, hoodie, or tee from the Coin Bureau merch store. You can find your way to my second channel, socials, newsletter, merch store, and more using the links in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you further down the blockchain.